Hello, welcome to a Pioneer stream. That's right, Pioneer. There has been some bannings this morning out of nowhere. By the way, a big fan of the out of nowhere bannings. I think that they're a fantastic idea, actually. The whole, like, we'll ban this next week is just absolute bullshit. Just like an entire dead week is not great. But we had some bannings today, and it gives me a great opportunity to take a look at a deck that I built. I've had this deck built in my MTGO folder for probably months at this point. Like, somebody suggested the interaction between Recent Reef, Green and Igneous, and Bergy in Aspiring Spike's stream. And ever since then, I've been like, okay, my issue with Pioneer has always been that I've never found a deck that I liked. And this interaction actually got me thinking, which never happened before in the history of the format. So I've been trying to find like an interesting shell for this. Now, granted, I'm not going to come here and say that I'm a master of this format. I have no idea what's going on. But the good thing is that right now, nobody has any idea of what's going on. So what that means is that I get to be back on my bullshit for a little bit before, everybody figures out the broken decks, and then we can't have fun anymore. But in the meantime, we will have some fun. So what am I trying to do here? So Green and Igneous is a very, very interesting card. This was printed in Strixhaven, and what it does is it's a 3-mana 2/2, but for 1 red mana, you can bounce it to your hand and then add colorless red to your mana pool. It actually costs colorless red. So what happens is when you cast the Green and Igneous, if you have a Bergy in play, that's really small. That's a little bit bigger. Whenever you cast any spell, you add a red to your mana pool. And then what you do is obviously you just Green and Igneous, float a red, activate the Green and Igneous with the floating mana, and you can effectively bounce and replay Green and Igneous over and over again as much as you want. So this works very well with a couple of interactions that we have access to. First of all, Recent Reef. Recent Reefs allows us to effectively draw our entire deck because Green and Igneous is conveniently an elemental. So we can draw our entire deck and play all the lands from our deck. With Prosperous Innkeeper, this combo equals infinite life because we're going to have infinite ETB triggers. With Runaway Stimkin, this equals to infinite red mana because every time that we cast it, we put a counter on this, and then eventually we're going to have 3 red mana, we get to float 3 mana, etc. And obviously, what we're trying to do here is like a little bit of an interesting proposition, but the way that this is going to work is we play our Omnath, okay? Play Omnath. Then we're going to go off with the combo, which means that we're going to get to bounce and replay Recent Reef indefinitely. We're going to get to play infinite lands. So because of that, we're going to trigger Omnath all 3 times. And then every single time that we trigger Omnath, that's going to give us the mana to cast the next Omnath. And then that's going to give us the mana to cast the next Omnath. Eventually, we're going to cast all 4 of our Omnaths. That's going to be 16 damage straight to the face. Drawing our entire deck, and then we can finish them off with some Omnath Locus of the Royal as well. So that is kind of what we're trying to do. We can go infinite, but the amount of damage that we can deal is actually not infinite. However, there's not that many decks in Pioneer, at least right now, that gain too much life, so that's kind of what I'm banking on. I'm banking on the fact that I can maybe like get a couple of hits here and there. My opponents won't know what's coming, and I will be able to just 16 them out of nowhere and finish things off there. We're also playing 4 copies of Bring to Light. This is the way that I figure out is probably the original version was like straight up Teamer, and it was playing Collected Company. But that seemed like a little bit clunky to me, and also, like the best elemental by so much is Omnath, right? Omnath is just very, very good, and there's just no shell for this card right now. So because of that, I figured, how can I make Omnath work? And obviously the answer was Bring to Light all along. So this allows us to find and to tutor for the specific combo pieces that we're missing. While at the same time just being, like a value card that can go find us or Omnath or like whatever it is that we're missing. Then we have a couple of Cavalier of Thorns. This is obviously like the weirdo card in the deck, but I wanted a card that can stand of it on its own. And this is very, very much a flex slot, by the way. I just wanted a card that can stand on its own and that worked with the synergies that we have going on here. You know, with Risen Reef, with Omnath, Locus of the Royal. So I wanted to have just a good card, a generically good card that can allow me to like stabilize a board state or to just like get a couple of damage here and there. This is the best one that I thought of. Maybe there's something better. I'm not sure. Like again, I've played a grand total of 0 games with this deck. I've been just like brewing it in my mind for a while, and today I'm finally going to release the beast. And it goes without saying that the mana base is probably like a little bit of a mess. Like I probably should try to find room for the 4th Fabled Passage, and I don't know if I should have a basic Plains in the deck. I think I do, but I'm honestly not sure. I don't know how many Triumphs I want to be playing. I don't know how many, if I have too many tapped lands. That's going to make me be a little bit too slow. Prosperon Innkeeper and Leafkin Druid. By the way, Leafkin Druid does trigger Risen Rift. That's the reason why we're playing this over something like Sylvan Caryatid. But yes, this is very, very much a work in progress. This is my very first iteration of this deck, and it feels functional, but I have yet to find out whether it actually is. But yeah, this is going to be the main deck. On the sideboard, again, I don't know what the metagame is going to look like, so I'm just playing some generically reasonable cards. We have some Voices in a Whisperable Elemental because obviously Blue-White is very much a powerful deck. Like it was one of the best decks before, and I imagine that that's going to continue to be the case. Farai is mostly against a Grease Fang, but it's going to allow me to kill some Teferi Time Ravelers and Time Ravelers, no, the big one, Hero of Dominaria. So like we get to like kill some other Planeswalkers and stuff. Flameblast Bolt, they're mostly against the green decks, the mono green decks to kill the elves in the early game. It's also pretty good against Phoenix. Obviously, we can exile Phoenix for good, which is fine. Either Gust against the green decks, of course. A Mystical Dispute against blue decks as well, and Deafening Silence, almost specifically because of Lotus Field. If there's a Phoenix deck here and there, sweet, like we'll get them, but it's mostly there for Lotus Field. That's what we got going on. We're gonna see whether this actually works out or not. So we're gonna find out together. Hopefully you enjoy this. If you do, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you for round number 1. All right, starting things off. This is hot. This is pretty hot. Yeah, let's keep this hand. So I probably want to hold on to the Fabled Passage because I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, and if I find an Omnath, this is gonna be great. But we can go turn 1 Breeding Pool, turn 2 Innkeeper, turn 3 Risen Reef. Live the Dream. Arboreal Gracer. Okay, so I imagine we're playing against the combo deck. Would love to draw an Omnath. Like if we find an Omnath, I think that we're gonna be in pretty good shape here. Oh, this is the mono green deck. Okay. I think I want to play Temple Garden here. The reason to play Temple Garden is so if I draw an Omnath, I can just I can cast it. Oh no! The one of Florahedron punishing me here. Good attack with the Innkeeper here. We do an IRL stream this Friday. Oh yeah, this Friday we're gonna go see my favorite band, which is Thank You Scientist. I cannot wait. Cultivate. Huh. Okay. Red Monument is fine too. Yeah, the original list that I saw had access to the red thing. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was doing it for me. So I can BTL for Omnath. Does that do anything for me though? I could BTL for another Risen Reef. I can also just play the Florahedron. Huh, what to do here? I kind of want to play Omnath. So they're going to have 7 mana next turn. That's very scary. That's Dragon Lord Atarka mana. So maybe I want something that doesn't die to Atarka. They don't have Ugin mana just yet. Yeah, if I find Omnath and my opponent Atarkas, like that's such a beating for me because they just kill the Omnath and the Reef and I'm left with nothing. So I think I'm just gonna go with the Florahedron here. And let's see if we find something good. We do not. Okay, that's fine. Play this tapped and say go. I guess we can actually attack for 2. Hit it! Yeah, as I was saying earlier, sorry, the original list that I saw had access to the Red Monument, but I think that Omnath is probably a better card than the Red Monument, so we're going with that instead. So that sweeps the board, which is pretty bad for me, obviously. But we've not been drawn particularly well here. I'm probably going to BTL for Omnath since I have 2 passages. There's also the possibility that this should be a Yorion deck, by the way. Jesus. Yeah. Red, white, green, blue. BTL for Omnath. We're going to need to start drawing well at some point, right? We just have to start drawing well at some point. Not today, though. Let's do that. Let's fetch for, I guess, a mountain. And we're going to cycle Triumph. Yeah, alright. Let's play that. My opponent's going to be like, what the fuck? Thank you for the follow, Cody James. If they have another one of this bad boy, obviously we're very dead, but... Escape to the Wilds. Worldbreaker kind of doesn't do anything against us, which is nice. Risen Reef. I'm gonna hold on to this to trigger the Reef, I think. Because this only triggers when I cast a red spell. So let's gain some life and swing with the team. Opponent's at 15. We can get him, chat. We can get him. His deck looks sweet. Yeah. I think it's a cool idea. I think it's a cool idea. Obviously, we're flooding, so it doesn't it doesn't look so good right now. But, however, it's 27 lands. Yeah, sure, but like I need the lands, right? Like I have so many color requirements. Like I just need to have the lands. There's also the fact, by the way, that the other side of Burgi allows me to turn my cards in hand into actual business, right? So that's why we're playing the full 4 copies of Burgi. It's because, okay, so that probably doesn't do anything for me. Opponent's gonna Omnath. So I can still win from here. So I think I'm going to play the passage just so I can gain some life. Because I'm going to gain life on this turn and then on my opponent's turn in response to the Ugin. Then I'm going to be taking 13. And if I draw Risen Reef... If I draw Risen Reef into Burgi, I think we actually win the game. I think that if we draw Risen Reef into Burgi, we actually win the game. Oh, I should have blocked with the Steamkin. Whoops. My bad. Implying that I would play less lands. It's probably like 26 is the number, but like 27 is not that many, honestly. Is my opponent gonna go face? Please go face. Yes! Yes! Woo! Got him! Woo! The bait! The bait! Alright. Bergy, no, Recent Reef off the top, baby. Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. God damn it. That doesn't do it. I think I'm just not going to show my opponent any more of the deck because I'm just going to mill 5 cards. And even if I do, my opponent just minus a Sugan and they swing for lethal. Even if I gain, even if I find a fetch land, I still lose. So unfortunate. Okay, so playing against mono green nonsense. Actually, is this even good against what my opponent's doing? Do any of my Cyber cards do anything? I guess it stops Dragon Lord Target. That's probably good enough for me to play it, right? I don't think I would need the Cavalier. And maybe cut an Innkeeper. I don't think that life is gonna matter too much. Yeah, Escape. I guess it's Escape is another good point. You're right. Yeah, so I guess we're doing something like this. I don't think Flamebuzz Ball doesn't kill anything. They don't have elves. And this is dice, right? Face up non-target creatures to control, gain when this creature dies. Yeah, if it were leaves the battlefield, then we can have this against Dugan, but... What is the combo here? Yeah, this hand's hot. So, the combo here is... You have a Recent Reef in play, and then you have Bergy and Grinning Ignis, and then you draw your entire deck. If you have a Runaway Steamkin in play, you also make infinite red mana. If you have Prosperous Innkeeper in play, you also gain infinite life. That's the combo. That's kind of hot. That's really hot. So we get to Reef this turn. What am I looking for? A Bergy? Bergy is what I'm looking for here. Okay. This matchup seems abysmal though, right? Like this is like playing a Druid deck that's pretty slow against a Tron deck that's pretty slow. Like historically, this just does not line up well for the Druid deck. Ooh, that's very nice. Land, hell yeah. Woo, that's hot. Play that, your go. So next turn we're gonna get to do some serious things. So we can start... Cultivate, okay. So we're gonna be able to start with Omnath. And then if we find a land, if we hit a land off of the Recent Reef, then we can go off. Land? Hell yeah. Woo! Alright, we're doing it. We are doing it. We want to leave red floating here. Recent Reef, okay. Bergy. Okay. So we win next turn. I think so, right? But for 5 mana, my opponent may have a sweeper. So I guess I want to just cycle here. Because they could have like an hour of devastation or something like that, right? If they don't have it though. Nissa's Pilgrimage. Okay. So I think we got lethal now. So we want to start with Passage. Then we're gonna go Steamkin. Land. Trigger. Land. Trigger. Whew! We're doing it! We are doing it. BTL, okay. Grid and Ignis, okay. Now we activate here. Float mana, cast. Okay. Okay. Float red. Oh, this is great. Enters the battlefield. Let's draw some lands. Oh, we have to play the other Omnath, my bad. Okay, so before we do this again, now we're gonna play the Omnath. Make some more Manases. This is hot. We want to keep this one. Okay. Put that into play. Oh, this is great. Float mana. Put that into play. Many manases. 2, 3. So we want to trigger. I think I actually messed this up though. I think I actually messed this up if I'm not mistaken. Because I should have attacked with the Omnath before doing this. Should have attacked with the Omnath before going through all of this. There's the damage. Now we're gonna BTL. 1, 2, 3, 4. For Omnath. Cast it. Keep this one. Am I gonna deck myself? There's no way I deck myself, right? I actually may deck myself. I may actually deck myself here. Because I have 2 recent reefs going. Where are my lands? Damn it. There it is, one. That makes mana. That makes mana, sorry. And now we need one more. No, undo. That one. What do I do after this? I just killed them with Omnath triggers. I don't need to do anything. Omnath does the dirty work for me. So now float mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Find the last Omnath. Cast it. God damn it. No! No, this is gonna mess up my combo. This is gonna mess up my... Which one is... I assume that I have to keep this one? Oh, no. Moto, don't do me dirty, Moto. Don't do me dirty, Moto, please. I guess I can just cast Locusts over the Royal at this point anyways. So it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, they can have Ugin, right? And uh-oh. Now this is fine. This is fine. I can just cast Locust of the Roll and we're good. I would like to make some mana before casting the Omnath in hand. Just in case, I don't know, my opponent has anything. There's no way they have anything at this point, but I don't know. Who knows? There we go. There's the mana. There's the damage. And now we're just gonna cast this bad boy. Blue, green, and this color. And face ya. All right. Thing equal done. We did the thing. We did the thing. That was the important thing. We did the thing. Thing was done. I think we can call this league a success. We can most certainly call this league a success. I mean, also, I kind of just wanted to execute the combo, right? I'm going to keep this hand. I kind of just wanted to go through the motions and kind of like get familiarized with how the triggers stack and all that thing. So, yeah, I could have killed my opponent earlier, but I also didn't want to, you know? Yeah, 100%. We've won in our hearts already. We have already won in our hearts. How does this work? 7 or more lands. Okay, so I guess I have to cast Flora Hedron here. Opponent's ramping really quickly though. I think that we're just going to be a little bit too slow. Cultivate, yeah. We're going to be facing a new game probably next turn. Also, I should have played Temple Garden there because I can't Omnath now. That was kind of a silly mistake. Yeah, that sucks. I fucked that up. So now I have to play the Reef. The Reef is rising. Hitting a land's not bad. And now we just gotta pass the turn now. Yeah, I fucked it up. Damn it. That's so much mana that my opponent has over there. Turn 4 something like Atarka is going to be Ugin. Sure. Turn 4 Ugin for the creature deck seems hard to beat. Let's go green, red, white, blue. Should have probably... I tapped wrong. I should have tapped with this instead of the basic forest. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I fucked it up because I played my lands wrong, so I couldn't cast the Omnath earlier. Got him! Probably not gonna do too much, but still, got him. Gotta celebrate the small victories, I guess. Yeah, opponent's gonna -4 here, and we're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Guess they played all the 4s they had. Green, red, white, blue. ¿Qué haces, Ashanti? Es una fiesta el masito este. So I think I'm playing Stimkin this turn. What could my opponent have for green plus colorless? I just don't do anything here, right? My opponent's forced to minus anyways. So I'm not gonna like feed Stimkin into the Ugin. Like this draws me a card with the recent reef, so. There's the escape. K return. It's not gonna cut its sun. Omnath looks useless. Did you see the last game? Were you here for the last game? Because you may not have been here for the last game. Okay. Now what? We probably have to start with recent reef, right? We can start with reef. 1, 2, 3. Then we play our land. We cast Ignis. And then we recast it. That draws us 2 cards. What if I play Steamkin instead? Then I draw only 1 card. So drawing cards is probably better than having more board presence, I think. We do have to be careful with how we tap. We drew an Omnath. Well, that's now the better play. Red, blue, white, green. Now that's the better play. So let's do that now. And funnily enough, this would have been better, right? Because we could have just domed the Ugin. Why would they not K return there? They would have K return plus plus on my Omnath. Opponent is on garbage time in their minds. But we can still win here. Like, we're obviously behind. But the game's not over. Well, now the game's over. But before this, the game was not over, right? Like, we could have come back from this. We attack, opponent's forced to chomp. Then we go, like, Stimkin into Omnath. And we can start, we can kill the Ugin. We can start doing some business over there. So they got kind of bailed out right there. If they have whiffed, we actually had a game. All right, opponent. All right, your big things kill my smaller but still sweeter things. See you for the next round. All right, round number 2. I don't think this hand does too much, right? But at the same time, it's kind of what we're signing up for. So play Triumph, get our mana going. At least this hand has perfect mana. Let's see what we're up against. Leaf Kindred or Florahedron? I think I'm gonna go with Leaf Kindred. My best draw is Recent Reef, bar none. So that's what we're looking for. I mean, we can put a bunch of mana into play. I don't know what that does for us. That's probably going to matter later. Actually, what's his name would be pretty hot. Strangle. Okay. Hello. So if I play this out, next turn I play Runaway Steamkin. That's 1 mana. Then I play this, and I play that. I make infinite mana. Okay. I make infinite red mana, though. I'm not gonna have all my colors. It's probably still the better card to play, though, I think. Because it doesn't die to as many things, like Flameless Ball doesn't kill this. I guess I could, that's also an argument for playing Druid. But if I don't play Druid, then next turn if I draw an tap land, I can double spell, which is nice. Opponent is reading every single card. We got a reader over there, chat. What are you talking about, opponent? You don't know what Birgi, God of Storytelling, does? They're so afraid. Opponent is so afraid. That's hilarious. What are we doing here? So we're playing his blue-red control. We're definitely going to play the Florahedron. So that part is the easy one. And I guess we're going to go Innkeeper into Steamkin. Sure. Maybe they have another Anger of the Gods here. Iteration. Wait. Isn't this banned? Oh man, I thought that the banning was live already. That's the whole point why I'm playing Pioneer right now. God damn it. Well, that sucks. Ugh. Vomit. Untap land. Another Reset Rift's not the worst. I'll take it. Aw, man, I thought that... That sucks, man. God damn it. It's a little bit frustrating. It's a little bit frustrating. Okay, so my opponent's playing Phoenix. But at least they didn't get any value there. Report, yeah, exactly. Green, white, blue, red. Can we find a Fabled Passage here? Can we find a Fabled Passage? Alright, I'll take it, I guess. Wanya. I mean, they used the Lightning Axe to kill my Recent Reef, right? So maybe... Wait. I just realized that... So they're playing Lightning Axe, but they're also playing Anger of the Gods, so they can't be playing Phoenix. Anger of the Gods is what we call a numbo with Phoenix. I'm just confused now. I just don't know what's going on. They discard all their hands, then they draw that many cards. Okay. Why would they make me do that? Right? Why would they make me discard? That's weird. Wanya. Dude, like this Innkeeper is going the distance. Go, Innkeeper, go. Also, I just milled an Omnath, which saddens me. So now they have the stupid hole as a blocker. I'm gonna play the land and I'm gonna hold on to these other two because I can play the Harnfell Horn of Beauty. So I'm gonna chill here. Well, I can't beat this thing, so I've seen enough. Oh man, we're playing against somebody playing banned cards. God damn it. That sucks. Scott the Innkeeper, Codleaf Kindred. Pohatan with a tier 1 sub. Coming for 6 months. Really appreciate the support, Pohatan. Welcome back. What did you miss in the first hour of the stream? Oh, Ryan. Oh, Ryan, what did you miss? You missed everything, my friend. We did it. We went infinite. We killed my opponent with Omnath triggers. It was glorious. It was glorious, my friend, let me tell you. I'm just cutting the Leaf Kindreds, right? Let's just actually cut the Innkeepers. I guess let's leave one of each. Do it again? Alright, I'll try. Just because you asked nicely. I guess I'm keeping this hand. My opponent's playing banned cards, though. That's just not fair. I wish I could play banned cards. Where's my Once Upon a Time, chat? Where's my Veil of Summer, chat? Give them to me. Give me my banned cards so we can play on fair footing. Boom. Steamkin. It's steaming up. Give me steam. Ooh. Opponent on a missing land drop game plan. You love to see it. So I think I just go Recent Reef here. It's bad against Anger of the Gods, but that's kind of the name of the game. Like I have to start getting some card advantage here. This is looking okay so far. And by that I mean it could be looking worse. Ha! That's no Anger mana. That's no Anger mana, opponent. The Ignis is gonna grin. Ignis be grinning. We have no answer for this in the deck, right? So we just have to wait for it to flip. Seen better strategies. Quina with a tier 1 sub, 28 months. Thank you for that, appreciate it. Probably not disputing this, huh? Although my opponent could be looking for a red source for their anger in hand, so maybe I should be disputing that. Now I'm gonna have to dispute their iteration. This sucks, man. Shouldn't be using my good counterspell on my opponent's banned card. I shouldn't have to use it. So I guess now that I've seen Thing in the Ice, I should probably bring in the fries. Side of fries, please. Side of fries. It's bad. Should play banned cards. Yeah, man, maybe I should. So I can go red, replay Green Ignis, bounce Green Ignis, play it, draw a card, grow this thing, do it again. I can't do that and Burgy, however. 1 mana, bounce this, make 3 mana, play Burgy. Oh no, I actually can! Oh, sick. Alright. So, do this, cast Burgy, make some Menaces. Opponent thinking. Cast this thing. Make some mana. Damn it. So now I can make infinite red mana, but I've used my land drop already, so I can't do anything with that infinite red mana. I can play the other side of this Burgy, however. And then I can discard Voice. Yeah, I think that's the play. I'm gonna attack first, obviously, because it's a free attack. But we don't get to draw our entire deck. We are a green mana or a blue mana off of drawing our entire deck here. Now the question is, do I want the Ignis to be in my hand? I guess it doesn't matter. It's going to get bounced regardless, so I guess I don't really have to think about it even. I don't even have to think about it. I'm just gonna make sure that this has all the counters. And so now that has all the counters, and I can cast the Horn of Bounty. And now we just pass the turn, right? Yep. I enter stream like I enter the cinema mid-movie, now explain how this deck works. Yeah. You're assuming the deck works. Yo, we did it once already, okay? So clearly the deck is busted. Obviously the deck is broken, otherwise we wouldn't have a one game, right? My opponent's playing banned cards, however, which complicates things. Take 7. Still no white mana, huh? Still no white mana. So we play Burgie. We can Green Ignis. But then that doesn't do anything for us, right? And if they flip the thing, we just lose. And we know they have a cruise. We may be dead here, Chad. Oh, that's my white mana. No white for being like, no, there's no white in the deck. Play this. Play Burgie. Play Ignis. Like, we get to bounce and replay this thing as many times as we want, but we can't get any value from it, so womp womp. All right. Hopefully we don't play against the deck with banned cards in the next round. All right, on the draw, fine hand, I guess. No blue mana, but we have turn 2 Innkeeper, so that means that we get to play Omnath on turn 3, which is probably okay. It's going on YouTube? Yes, it's going on YouTube. Could you play a random burn spell like the one with Flashback, which is an okay magic card? Well, I honestly don't know. Like, that's what we're doing today. Like, it's my first time playing the deck. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I want because I have not played the game, the deck at all, right? So that's exactly what I'm trying to figure out here. This deck has been in my mind for a minute, but I don't know what I want. I don't know what the deck's missing, and that's what we're trying to figure out today. Blue, green, white, red. The Nath. The Nath. Don't you get tired of playing always losing? No, why? Because you're very bad at the game. Okay. Sure. Tell me how you really feel, though. Tell me how you really feel. That was fun. Dude, trolls are fun, man. I love trolls. Like, what's the point? Right? Somebody's streaming. Somebody's streaming. You use your time, right? You use your own time to go into somebody else streaming, somebody that's streaming that you don't know, that doesn't know you, and you give them shit. And then? And then what? It's interesting, man. Like, people are very interesting. People are very, very interesting. Human beings are something. Human beings sure are something. All right, what are we doing here? With the top 3 MTG trolls for me, Thorn is last place. Yo, I'm a big fan of what's a 3-mana troll, like the green 1 troll, like it's a 3/2 that you can regen and it has hexproof. That's the OG troll for me. I remember that card being like printed back in Mirrodin, and everybody was losing their shit because it was so above the curve at the time. It was very funny. What the hell are we doing here? We have a lot of options. I kind of want to play Innkeeper in case I draw a Recent Reef. So I think this is the easy part. Like, but what else are we doing? If we play Leafkin Druid, next turn we can tap this for 2 mana. So I guess that tilts the scale towards me wanting to play that. I think that's what's up. So we're going to go Innkeeper into Leafkin Druid. Troll Ascetic, thank you so much. It was so good back in the day. Some people just get hard getting a ban. That's possible, yeah. Maybe that's what it's all about. It's all about getting that ban. Sometimes all you really want is to get banned. Is Clothes actually good in Pioneer? Tolsimir, friend to wolves. Whoo! Alright. That's kind of hot. Can we draw Recent Reef here? No. We did find a blue source, which is not terrible. So I think we're just going to go for the other side of Berger here. We're just going to play the Harnfell Horn of Bounty. I guess it's... My opponent's playing Nev, so maybe they have an answer to artifacts. I'm honestly not sure. But next turn, hopefully we're going to get to do some damage. I heard of Troll Worship a while ago. It's like super fun deck. Oh yeah, it's a great meme deck. It's a great meme deck. You're playing like Trolls, main decking Thrun, and what's his name? Like Geist of Saint Raft. It's a hilarious deck. It's not very good. The thing is that keyword Hexproof has not aged very well. Because stuff like Dress Down has been printed now. Which really messes things up. I love how we are having a talk about trolls now. Maybe this has been a troll stream all along. Alright, what you got, opponent? So this one... No. Does it tell me what they picked here? Let's see. Bring to light an iteration. So everybody's just playing banned cards today, huh? That's just the name of the game. Everybody is still playing banned cards, so I just joined this league for no reason. Okay, now we actually have to think. I hate this part. So, we play Runaway Stinkin'. We play Green and Ignis. This gets a counter. We bounce Ignis. We recast Ignis. So I guess if we find Recent Reef, I think we should be able to combo. We should be able to draw our entire deck. If I'm not miscounting. Okay, that's a Bring to Light. So we BTL for a Recent Reef? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this doesn't matter, right? It's 3 colors. We're going to get Recent Reef anyway. Cast it. Give it to me. Find me a land, baby. Find me a land. Whew. That's just hot, baby. That's just hot. Okay, so we got there. Now we play this. Make some mana. Play Ignis. Yeah, I guess we're not gonna be able to go off here, unfortunately. Play Ignis. Play that for you. We're gonna play Lifkin. I think we're actually gonna put this in our hands so we can discard it to the horn. We get to draw one more card. So we don't get to like finish them off here. But we're still in pretty decent shape. And now my opponent kinda has to Wrath here. Honestly, maybe instead of drawing a card, I should have left the red mana so I can bounce this to hand. Because my opponent kind of has to sweep here. Otherwise, they just lose next turn. Or I get to gain infinite life. Because next turn, we're going to have enough mana to go infinite. It's not super bad. Like, this horn is doing a lot of work. I think that if I had found actually Recent Reef instead of having to BTL for the Recent Reef, we could have been able to win. I think. Not entirely sure. I'm still not super familiar with the deck's permutations and stuff. Opponents get a verdict here. Like, even if they get something like Valky and they kill my Omnath, that's not... Like, I still have enough to kill them, I think. Because I'm just going to get to draw my entire deck. Unless they have multiple removal spells. If they have removal spell... If they have, like, Valky for this and then they kill this some other way. What you gonna get, opponent? What you getting? They're getting Valky. Okay. Whew, that enables Clothis? That's sexy. Malnath. Does Neve play any white removal spells? Not, right? Does that do anything? I don't think so. Trying to think if it's worth to play the second one of these. Is it worth playing the second one? I think I'd rather just hold this. So I can discard it to the Burgie if I have to. Let's, I guess, put that into play. Bounce this, cast this. Well, but I don't need the infinite. Like, I'm gonna be drawing my entire deck right here, right? And gaining infinite life. So I'd rather just save the colored mana so I can go find Omnath. Is that good enough? I think that's good enough. I think that's good enough. Yeah, I think maybe I did mess this up. Maybe I did want to play this. So we're gonna say no to that. Float mana. Let's make float some green manases. Make some triggers happen. Innkeeper. We're already gaining infinite life. There we go. Are we doing the thing again? Ooh, this is exactly what I wanted to see. So that's gonna net me more mana. Boom. Play this out. Whoops, no. Undo. Man, this deck is kind of hard to play, actually, in terms of like executing the stuff on Moto. Especially when your opponents don't have 6. Like, I would love it if my opponent would have 6 here, you know? that would make my life so much easier if my opponent would have 6. Okay, so now we BTL, right? Green, white, BTL. 1, 2, 3, 4. Colorless. Get on, Nath. So now I think we're good. So cast this thing. Yeah, I think we're good now. I'm assuming my opponent has no interaction here. Bounce this. Cast it again. That's Omnath. Bounce. That's one Omnath. We have not yet triggered this thing, huh? So let's go fetch land. Fetch. For blue source. Make a bunch of mana. This deck's set in light. But I think I may actually just deck here. There we go. So that's damage. Now we have to find an Omnath. That's the next order of business. So we need to find an Omnath before we find out of our lands, basically. It's probably better for me to just start discarding to the Horn of Grief. There we go. So we have to be very careful. It's this one. We're going to keep this one. Put that into play. Gain life. Cast Green Ignis. Whoops, forgot to make mana. It doesn't matter, like we already have enough mana, but play the land already, so we're just going to do all of those things. This is kind of fun. This is kind of fun. It's a lot of clicks, but there's some now. Sweet. So we're already net the mana, so we're just missing. There we go. That's 4 damage. Now we play the next Omnath, which is going to be that one. Cool, cool, cool. Stack triggers or whatever. Mana, mana. That is life. Just have to make sure we don't deck here. I don't think we can deck, though. Opponent is not F6ing, huh? They're not about the F6 life. But yeah, here you go, Duncan. You wanted me to do it again. I did it. Hope you're happy now. This Infinite has me rolling? Yeah, big time. Dude, this Infinite is really sexy, honestly. Look at how much mana we're making. They got the Miser's Veil of Summer. Cards banned, fortunately for me. That card is, thankfully for me, banned. Look at how much mana I'm making, right? There we go. Thank you, deck. So that's 4 damage. This is a lot more damage. Face ya. Well, that was 10 minutes. That was 10 minutes of me going off. Jesus. It's kind of fun, though. So, this is 5 damage. What are we trying to kill? I definitely want Gusts. Probably want Disputes as well. Do we care about Fry? Definitely Silence is hilarious against... against what's his name, I think? Against Bring to Light. For Sweeper. But they can Bring to Light for other things, though. They can like beat heal for Omnath and stuff. I think Whisperwood's probably fine. So there we go. I think I want to cut some Innkeepers, cut some Leafkins. Let's actually cut the Florahedron instead. Every game that I win with this deck is just so exciting, though. I'm just chasing that high, baby. I'm just chasing that high. Give me that high. Every W, we're working so hard for it. Working so hard for that W. You love to see it. Yeah, I'm a little bit. I don't think this card does what I wanted to do as well as I thought it would. I think that this slot may be better used in a different way. Maybe these should be Whisperwood Elementals, actually. Maybe I should just be playing the Whisperwood in the main deck. I thought Cavalier would like stand on its own, but the truth of the matter is that if you don't have any synergies going on, like if we had any sort of graveyard synergies, I would kind of be into it. But yeah, the idea of having an infinite red mana payoff is exciting to me. So maybe that's something that we want access to. What's the best red mana payoff for this deck? Just like the Chandra thing, right? Yeah, Banefire is what I was thinking of, but is Banefire legal? Let's see. Is this legal in Pioneer? M19. Okay, so it is legal in Pioneer. So it is legal in Pioneer. Which is interesting. Is that the best we can do, though? Yeah, well, the current like you go infinite and you can't deal infinite. You deal like, depending on the board state, you deal 16 through the 4-mana, the white Omnath, and then you can finish off your opponent with the Timur Omnath. So that's another thing. Like I think that we may want like a second copy of Timur Omnath. Banefire is definitely interesting though. Like I'm gonna keep that into consideration because like once you're drawing your attire, like you are going to eventually find your Banefire. So we can cut the Cavalier of Thorns and we can find another Omnath. So it's gonna be 2 Locus of the Royal. So having access to the second copy of Locus of the Royal. The thing is that we can't cast the second copy usually unless we have blue and green mana floating around. We actually can't finish off our opponent. We just can't cast the second copy once we're going off. Would be good if the infinite sync was PTL. I mean, it doesn't matter though, right? Because once you're drawing your entire deck, like you're just gonna find the Banefire eventually, right? So it doesn't really matter whether it's a BTL target or not. Like it probably would be better. Shadow Skull Smashing. I think Shadow Skull Smashing doesn't go face. Target creatures and planeswalkers, yeah. Just doesn't go face, so it's not useful. But yeah, the point about the BTL target is it's a very good one, however. Okay, game number 2. This looks fine to me, I think. I think that Avergust is a pretty reasonable card against Niv. We drew a bunch of our basics, however, just not great. So I'm gonna go turn 1 passage, fetch for a blue source. Oh, there you go. Karn. Yeah, probably not gonna do it. Gonna fetch for my island and say go. Dispute. Okay. So I'm probably gonna be using Gust here. But I don't have double blue mana anyways, I guess, so. Well, and now I do have double blue mana. So next turn I'm going to be able to reef with Dispute backup, which is nice. Never mind. I have to spend my mana countering a banned card. Such is life. This really sucks, man. Like I was, looking forward to figuring out whether this could be real or not, and it turns out that we're just playing against banned cards. Let's play the Sacred Foundry. Say go. Waverino, thank you for the follow. So next turn we're going to be able to play Omnath plus fetch, which is nice. We're just going to need to, find something to do with our mana. K command. You got me. Point and missing land drops is good for us. White, red. Here's Somnath. I actually may want to. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna play the Temple Garden here because I'm not gonna be using the mana for anything productive, really. Maybe I should have just gone Innkeeper plus Hold Up Gust. But with my opponent missing land drops, okay, they found the land drop, so never mind. Super punish now. So they're gonna be able to go get Valky. And that's gonna be really bad for me now. Because they're gonna Valky and... Oh, but if they Valky and they cast Omnath... Oh, Niv. That's probably just as bad as Valky. So they drew 3 off of it. It's not bad. All right. So again, I'm not gonna be using the mana, so I'm just gonna do. I guess I'm gonna get the mana anyways. So let's go with this. And now we just pass. So we're holding up double Gusto here. Gusto does Sunster Abrupt Decay, which is nice. Good old can't be countered clause. We could also just roll the dice, and I can just let my opponent resolve the Ring to Light, and then maybe they get Valky or whatever, and we just gust the Valky. Because if I gust the BTL, then next turn my opponent draws the BTL again, right? The problem is if my opponent goes BTL for Supreme Verdict, then I just get super punished. So I think I'm just gonna gust the BTL. Take 6. Down to 22. How are we ahead on clock? Can somebody explain to me how I comboed for 10 minutes and I'm still ahead on clock? How is that even possible? How long did I spend comboing? So opponent plays both of the removal spells, which is very smart. I think I kind of want to gust this as well. And I'm just all in on this like stupid Recent Reef. But if I draw something good, I can potentially go off from here. Probably Vergy is the best draw. They bottomed both, which is interesting. Yeah, that sucks. Really wish I had found anything there. Really wish I had found any way for me to get value. But, yeah. We're probably dead now. Sanders Lounge. That's cool. This card is seen play. I thought I was the only maniac playing with Sanders Lounge, you know? Nahiri the Harbinger. Damn, son. That's a card. Let's gain some life, I guess. To 30 life we go. We should play Urn. It's almost like... Yes, I was thinking about that. I was actually thinking that maybe this should just be a Yorion deck. I was actually entertaining the possibility that this should just be a Yorion deck. As most decks should be, honestly. But yeah, it's very possible that's the case. Like, look at how good it would have been there, right? Like, Yorion comes down, we draw 2 cards. We reset so the Nahiri can't kill my my Omnath, right? Like, it would have been so good right there. So I think it's very likely that this should just be a Yorion deck. The problem is that, you know, which is the issue that I'm already having, is that I have so many good cards only, you know? Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, the cost that we're paying is the fact that maybe sometimes, like, the delta in power level between my most powerful card and my second most powerful card, or like my third or fourth most powerful card, is so large, right? So it's not like I just have mutually, cards that are the same. Premier Lieutenant needs to be played in Pioneer, 100%. Only way to save the format. They can keep banning random things, but the only real way to save the format is to print Primeval Titan. Wizards are cowards, however. It's kind of hot. Yeah, we definitely want a second copy of this. Most definitely want a second copy of this. This is only going to be a ping, so where do I want it to go? Probably at Valky anyways. Maybe it should be going at Nahiri. Let's shock here, and let's draw a card. Another blank. Okay. Again, and the reason I'm holding these Innkeepers because it doesn't do anything on the board, and this, if I draw the other side of Bergy, I can discard this to draw 2 cards. So opponent discards Confluence to Nahiri, Sylvan Carrier and Green in Ignis. So I don't think those do anything. So that's fine. Cycle, that's good for me. Decelestus. My Sculptor Legend, thank you for the follow. This is ETB, that's hella sexy. That is so freaking sexy. Woo! Oh, baby. So let's do this. Discard Innkeeper. Green, red, white, blue. I think we're just gonna go get Omnath here, right? We could get Recent Reef, that opens up an attack, I think. But I could also just Gust Nahiri to the top. Let's just go get Omnath. When in doubt, just get Omnath. Here we go. Bergy and Omnath have been exiled. I'm gonna have to Gust this T-Bolt. Would be great if we could find a Recent Reef, because if we can get Recent Reef going, then if we trigger Omnath, we sweep my opponent's walkers, which would be nice. So the opponent has their own Omnath, but my Omnath is better than theirs. opponent keeps discarding lands, which is interesting because they're kind of limited on what they can do with their mana. Also, they're limited in what they can do with the time. I think we're gonna win this game through. We're gonna win this match because we won game 1. We're just gonna win this match 1-1 probably, unless my opponent really speeds up their pace of play. But they're playing super slowly. Opponent. Heather King 666 is giving me something to talk about while my opponent tanks and does nothing. Thank you for the 7 months. Many thanks to the Titan Master. Obrigado. Thank you for that. Wait, when did that happen? When did they exile my recent reef? Aw, man. That's so unfair. When? I literally have no idea when a recent reef of mine was exiled. No idea at all. Okay, so I think I'm just going to... We're going to discard Dispute here. It's not really doing anything. We're looking for Burgie. Ooh, okay. So we BTL for Recent Reef. And that's hopefully going to get us going. What do I think about Red Cavalier as skill condition? Yes, that's actually a great suggestion. Wow, that's a really, really good suggestion. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it, yeah. So let's go Ignis. Find the Druid. Savnus. Ignis. Ignis. Land. Sweet. Okay, so we play that. That triggers. We put a counter in here, I guess. So now we can make some mana. I think we're going to Ignis one more time. Play this out. I think my opponent's just trying to time me out here. Kind of don't want to give them the satisfaction. So, Ignis. Cast Ignis. Second Ignis. Okay. Running out of red mana over here. Really gotta find a land. That's Burgie. Is Burgie good enough? No, it's not. Brutal. Brutal. Just never finding lands, huh? Okay, so we're gonna have to do this, I think. And I'm just gonna pass it back. Man, we just really whiffed on those lands, huh? Really, really whiffed on those lands. Okay, so my opponent's F16 now. You're just going to try to win in the air. Which actually opens up some attacks for me. Okay, they're not F16. The O3 battle. I'm ready. I'm ready for the O3 battles. Breeding Pool and Dragon Skull Summit. Oh man, my druid. My druid. So, I kind of want to just not do anything anymore, right? We just farm my opponent's clock. Let's, I guess, start by doing this. Like, I just make sure that I don't die, and then... And then we should be good. Go. The Fan of Whisper makes it... Yeah, this card is sweet. Honestly, it's probably what I should have done right there. Just play Whisperwood. Slaughter games. Yeah, that's not the way to do it, opponent. A little bit of overboarding over there. These games are so long, jeez. These games are so freaking long. God damn it. I think if I get my opponent under 2 minutes, there's no way they can win in time. I'm at 30 life, right? That's way too much life. It's possible that my opponent's strategy should be to deck me here. I mean, the correct play is to just concede the match. Like they can't win in time. They just can't. So the right strategy is to just concede and move on to the next game, but to the next match. But you know, you're fighting the fight. I think I'm actually out of recent reefs, if I'm not mistaken. And then opponents also not F6ing. An interesting strategy. Well, whatever you want, opponent. Take your time. Take your time. I still can't believe I was the one that spent like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever going infinite with this. See your Twitter post about the list. I'm honestly just confused as to what you're getting out of Ignis Burgi combo other than just infinite reef triggers. Maybe I'm dumb, but that doesn't seem good enough as a payoff. Well, that's actually lethal with Omnath. Right? You have an Omnath in play, you have a reef, infinite reef triggers equals dead opponent. Right? Because you play all of your lands, you trigger Omnath first, you gain life, trigger Omnath second, you make mana, trigger Omnath third, you deal them 4. That mana allows you to cast the next Omnath. So next Omnath, you keep it, you trigger all 3 things again. Then that you play the 3rd and the 4th Omnath, and then finally you're gonna have mana to cast the other Omnath, the Locus of the Royal, and you finish your opponent off with that. We did it a couple of times already. Opponents out there casting cards. Yeah, I mean, it's the Omnath trigger is an important piece of the puzzle. The Omnath trigger is definitely an important piece of the puzzle. Man, things are getting laggy out here. things are gonna lag. But yeah. We're gonna win this 1-1, which is cool. But yeah, we're gonna finish this this match right about now. Maybe my opponent will want to actually get the W, you know? But yeah, we're also making changes, King Kumpf, because we're making changes as we go. I think that it's possible that we should want to have access to a singleton Banefire. All right, sweet. See you next round. All right, here we are, round number 4. This hand is pretty interesting, actually, because we can go... This hand gains infinite life on turn 4. Let's try it. Let's try it, see how it goes. I think I'm going to go Temple Garden on 2. Temple Garden on 1, sorry. Llanowar Elves. Let's go with Druid first. Well, actually, if I go with Druid first, now I can't gain infinite life on 3, right? 3, 4 mana. I think we're fine, right? Well, I need the red mana to make a play here, so I'm just gonna cast Burgi, I think, and then pass. And I think next turn we just have infinite mana. Yeah, because we just go Innkeeper into Ignis, and then we can just cast it and replay it as many times as we want. 3 Yogs, 1 Hammer, 2 Jund. Players making top 4 in a 10k was absolutely 6 to see. Nice, yeah. Jund is a deck, apparently, still. Somehow. 5 decks in top 4 is dope. Yeah, exactly. It's the dream, basically. That's why it's called Dream Hack. Okay, that's scary. That's really scary. What are you gonna do, opponent? God damn it, that fights my Virgin and kills it. Shit. Okay. No second Burgi is just sad. Just pure sadness. So next turn we're going to be able to cycle this Silly Triumph. Vivian. God damn it, another removal spell? They had like 3 removal spells in the entire deck and they drew both of them. Nah, they probably have 8, but still, kind of annoying. I estimate that this should be an okay matchup, honestly, if they don't find interaction for our stuff. Opponent seems to be like a little bit more leaning towards aggro. Recent Reef, Omnath off the top. One of those bad boys. Steamkin, not good enough. So, just gonna cycle on end step, I guess. Oh, I guess I don't have enough red mana, right? I was thinking that if I draw another Ignis, I can now... Oh, I could have saved the Ignis, actually. I fucked it up. Man, like, not being familiar with this deck is... With the deck's interactions is going to cost me. This is 5, 9, 11. And they can give this +2 plus... So they can make this 6 power. That's 13. That's not lethal, so I'll take it. Feel like I'm going to need everything. So... Opponent didn't activate. How you doing, Newton? Alright, Recent Reef, let's go. It's not a Recent Reef. Recent Reef, let's go. Also not a Recent Reef. So I think we're dead now. I think if we've had... Yeah, now it's too late. Like, I think if we had found Ignis right there, we could have been able to stabilize, right? But now we have to shock in order to cast this Bring to Light. BTL only finds me an Omnath, and that just doesn't do anything, so... Yeah, we're just one turn too short there. That sucks. So Aether Gust seems incredible. Flameless Bolt seems very good as well. And I think that's about it. We get to cut these Cavaliers, which should not be in my deck. Voice is kind of interesting, but I think I'm just trying to justify playing Voice because I love this card, even though it's just bad, so probably shouldn't even look at it. Florahedron, it's probably okay, actually. Let's try playing with 26 lands. If I had to cut a land, what would I cut? I think it should probably be Basic Forest. If I had to cut a land, what would it be? Maybe Temple Garden? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 white sources. I would go down to 9. It's a little bit for the yikes. Nine white sources for Omnath. Don't love the sound of that. Just got that guy. On the play, what do we got? Okay. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have as much interaction this time around. We get to go turn 2 Burgee. Turn 3 Burgee, sorry. And if we find this one gains infinite life on turn 4, or I guess infinite draws as well. I guess not because I don't have blue mana, never mind. Innkeeper, no. No Innkeeper. The inn is not being kept. Okay. It's kind of aggro. Well, here's a 3/3. So we can play and replay the Ignis however many times we want now. It doesn't do anything, but we can do it. Fight Riggin? That's kind of sick, actually. Okay. Alright, I hear you, opponent. That's kind of sick. I'm into it. Blue source is kind of nice, actually. So let's Ignis here, holding up red mana so I can bounce it if I want to. And I think I just attack. Because I'm not blocking with this Burgee. Let's see what's up now. Because if my opponent doesn't have a way to answer my board, we can draw our entire deck. Which I imagine is going to be good enough. I have to imagine that it's going to be good enough. I could also just like spend this turn to gain infinite life. But probably drawing my entire deck is more powerful than gaining infinite life. Unless my opponent puts like enough pressure on me. Vorinclex. Well, now they get to cast their thingy. Which is pretty scary, actually. Another fight Regan. Okay, that's fine. Like, I don't care about that one. So now I'm gonna gain infinite life. So 8, 10, 13. Oh no, I have to draw an untap land now? Well, I guess this attack with the Verge is really punishing me right now. Because now I'm not gonna be able to shock. Dude. Oh, that's brutal. Oh man, that's devastating. I can't believe that my opponent had Xaxes. That's... Oh man, that's so... Because Vorinclex doubles the amount of counters. Jeez. Ugh. No, they made 5... They activated this. They cast the 5 Regan for free. They cast Vorinclex, they triggered this and put 2 counters on this because of... Man, would have been able to gain infinite life this turn and then draw our entire deck the following turn. If my opponent hadn't, like, actually put me at exactly 2. Well, yeah, I know, but, I mean, I would gain the life. I would get the red mana from casting the Vergy, so I could just go off with Ignis. But I have to shock in order to cast the card, right? So, okay, let's think. So, I use this. Bounce Ignis, that's 3 mana. I have 3 mana floating. I use 1. Because this nets me mana with Burgy. Wait a second. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I going crazy here? Is this how this works? So we bounce Ignis. I have red, 2 colorless floating. I go 1, 2. I think this works, man. Oh, baby. Blue, green, and white. BTL with red floating. Cast, make mana, find Innkeeper, cast Innkeeper, make mana. We got there, chat. We figured it out. We found the line. We found the line, chat. Woo! Let's go, baby. Oh, this is so sexy. God damn, this is sexy. God damn, this is sexy. Whew. Well, we make infinite life. My opponent's not gonna concede, apparently. We have obviously established the loop here. Dude, let's go, Burgy. Let's go, Burgy. Boom. This is awesome. Alright, obviously I'm only gonna be able to do this for so long before my arm gets tired, but we technically have access to as much life as we want. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to, you know, this is not gonna actually work out for me, you know, because I'm not netting mana here. Like, I'm gonna be drawing my entire deck next turn, but I'm not actually netting anything here. I'm only netting life, but it is what we had to do in order to stabilize, right? So I think my opponent's gonna just like let me round the clock. Also, the fact that, you know, we have to click on the 1 single mana is really annoying. because it says that it doesn't empty from the mana pool. So it's kind of frustrating a little bit. So let's think about what's gonna happen next turn. Like, what happens next turn? Because we still cannot net any mana. But I could, however, cast the second Ignis if I wanted to. The thing is, I don't think that does anything for me. So probably next turn we're gonna BTL for Recent Reef. And that should draw me my entire deck. I have to, I mean, my opponent's gonna be, they're gonna have more cards, right? Because they're gonna have older mana for this turn, and they're gonna have the card that they're gonna find of the Fight Rigging. So there's that. But that probably I still probably just go get Recent Reef, right? I probably still go get Recent Reef next turn, right? Is there a reason to do something else? No, so the reason why this stuff is not, you know, it can't be automated is because the game sees it as a new object every time that I cast it. So that's the problem that this has. At least that's the excuse that I've heard people give for not doing that. So what should I do here? Let's cast this. I'm thinking about whether I want to cast the second Ignis as well. I think I don't want to. So next turn we BTL for Recent Reef. And that nets us 2 mana. Then, dude, like, I just know that my opponent is gonna kill me, you know, with their stuff. They're just gonna kill my Burgi. I'm gonna be very, very sad, but I don't think there's anything I can do. Because I just don't have infinite time, right? Like, I'm just gonna run out of time. So I'm just gonna go with 60 life. Now, I mean, this is Pioneer leagues, you know, like in Modern and Legacy leagues, when you establish an infinite loop, it's a little bit more likely that your opponent will just be, okay, I'm not gonna attack you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to consider that you are infinite life, and I'm just not gonna win through combat. Like that happens a lot more often. But in Pioneer leagues, that's just like, people playing in Pioneer leagues are a lot more casual, so they really care about those those 50 PPs that they're winning, you know. Little Birdie told me that the Age of Apes still upon us. No idea what that even means, but it's possible. I don't see why not, Aaron. So here, I guess 1, 2. They're just gonna get Ulamog. They just cast Ulamog. Monkey's still not banned in Modern. I mean, there is a monkey that's banned in Modern. Right? Rip. Sounds bullshit to me. This is a major corporation to capable update their system for quality of life changes. Ah. So I guess, I mean, this is a point though, right? Like, Ulamog here comes down. Probably gonna get my Birgi and my blue source. I think that's what my opponent should get here. They get the Ignis, which obviously can just bounce, so that's not a big deal. But what does happen though? Wait, why wasn't I able to? Oh, activate only as a sorcery. Never mind. Never mind. Reading the card. Reading the card explains the card. Never mind. Activate only as a sorcery. I just read that part. We all learned something, huh? Never stop learning. So even if I did have like infinite mana, even if I did have infinite life, Ulamog is gonna deck me anyways, right? So and BV can still fight. So I guess we were still losing this game regardless. We were still gonna lose this game regardless. Okay. Pass the turn. Dude, Fight Reading did me so good right there. The curve of Fight Reading into Vorinclex. So brutal. But yeah, we're just dead to, you know, we're just gonna die to the Ulamog triggers. I don't think I can... I guess I should have gotten Recent Reef right there, because that's one of my combo pieces. This was gonna happen regardless, though. King Koof, it blows me. Ooh, Yorvo. Yorvo plus Vorinclex combo deck. Wild stuff. All right, I've seen enough. That was fun though. That was pretty cool. We did see like a little bit of the deck's potential right there. But yeah, we're still like in a position where, you know, we were just missing some pieces. All right, last round we have a Giganta Gamer over there. I'm gonna keep this hand. Looks pretty good. So we can go turn 1 Passage, fetch for a blue source. Turn 2 Leafkin Druid. Turn 3 a Recent Reef. If we find a white source, we can Omnath. Find my island. Okay. Wait a second. So I guess I still wanna druid because I think I'm gonna get to 4 creatures. That's a pretty slow opener. Let's play a Reef here, try to hit that land drop. Or not. It's also fine. How do you get a vintage cube draft from me? Great question. Boom. You're gonna send $15 my way. I guess $20. I actually updated that, but it's not updated in the command. Rip me. So that's not Omnath mana just yet, but if I Birgi this turn, I can also Ignis and draw a couple of cards. It's probably better. Next turn we draw our entire deck. Never finding lands. Okay. So that's also cool. That's also cool. That's fine. Is there Stab Spile? That's what we're thinking of, Stabs, but then I just couldn't figure out. We can brew it though. I'm down for brewing a Stab Spile after the stream, but I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to play it. I'm down to doing some Stabs brewing though. My opponent's gonna Ugin me next turn, aren't they? Just gonna get hella Ugined. Put that into play. Bounce this. Cast this. Put that into play. Bounce this. So I think my opponent is gonna like sweep and Ugin me. But my goal here is that I'm gonna untap and kill them anyway. Like I'm just gonna have enough mana to untap and kill them. And enough cards. Maybe I'm not gonna... Maybe I'm gonna deck before that, though. Maybe I'm gonna deck before that. Who knows? It's only one way to find out anyway, right? Yeah, definitely that there's some deck construction things here that just don't work out. Like the Cavalier is terrible. I should have the Red Cavalier. The Red Cavalier suggestion is fantastic. I hadn't thought about that. That's another Omnath. So I want to make sure I have enough mana to like do everything again. And enough cards still in my deck to actually kill my opponent. So it's going to be 3 to Burgi, 3 to Ignis, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 to Omnath. And then we're missing 2 more lands for Recent Reef. So I think we're good. 1, 2, 1 more land. It's a BTL. Damn it. That thing. There we go. So I think that's good enough. Recent Reef's gonna get in there because it's feeling it. Okay, so we want to keep the Omnaths. We want to discard that, discard that, discard that, discard that. Wait, how do I move around my hand? That's not what I'm trying to do. Oh, here. Okay, so we want to keep Omnath, Reef, second Virgi, Omnath, Reef, second Virgi, Omnath, Green and Ignis, Omnath, Green and Ignis. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more card. It's not gonna be a Recent Reef, so I guess I'm just gonna keep an Innkeeper. The Keeper of the Inn. So discard all of these. There's a 1 Elementals ramp deck with Timber Ultimatum and Cavaliers that's pretty gassy. It makes waves here and there. I've seen that, but this seems a little bit different than that. Hey, opponent whiffed. Sweet. So Gust seems fine. And I think that's it. Cavalier sucks. Innkeeper. Let's go with that. This ramp deck seems pretty popular right now. I imagine that it just lines up well against the non-combo decks in the format. Yeah, we already played against 2 iteration decks today, and it felt bad. Like it's just such free card advantage, right? It's just so easy. Like you just don't need to do anything. You're just getting card advantage for 2 mana. That's a little bit too much. There's an argument for Whisperwood because my opponent could have like a Dragon Lord at Harka. It's probably still whatever. We have Gust for Dragon Lord at Harka. Alright, what are we doing here? Sounds a little bit awkward. So we can go turn 2 Innkeeper, turn 3 Stimkin. But that doesn't really get me anywhere. I think I'm just gonna ship that hand. This seems better if I can find a green source. But my deck has a lot of green sources, so I think I'm gonna keep this. We have like 20 green sources or something like that. So it's pretty likely that in 2 looks I find a green source. All right. So that's what my opponent is working towards. First look, it's a whiff. Green source 1 time. Green source 1 time. Nope. I'm not feeling too good about this deck anymore. This game anymore. I'm feeling good about the deck though. So they're gonna have 6 mana for creatures next turn. The thing is, I don't think that 6 mana gets them anything. 7 mana gets them something. Ugh. Also, what's with all the ramp gamers are playing this basic forest? It's like they all came together and they organized and they said, okay, we're gonna be playing in the basic forest from like this thing. Gusto. Put Cultivate at the bottom. We have a lot of resources. I think it's easier if we move all the non-green sources. That's a non-green, that's non-green. These are non-green. So we have 18 green sources. Unless I'm missing something. 19. Yeah. Needs more lands. Is there a worse feeling than losing because you didn't hit your land drops? There's just no worse feeling. Let's ship this hand. I'm gonna keep this one. And I think I want to bottom this Sulfur Falls. Let's play Sacred Foundry, say go. Next turn we're gonna get to Burgi. Ooh. Okay, let's go with that instead. Because it means that we can spike a land. Exactly. So now we can BTL next turn. Bonnie has 4 mana. I wonder if they have any remove for these Reefy boy. Also pretty funny that if they have Castle, it enters tapped. Now it doesn't anymore. I honestly have no idea how I feel about the bans because I just don't play this format enough. I don't know what its problems are. It looks like an okay ban, honestly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I think I'm gonna Bear G and hold up Aether Gust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my opponent can't Ugin, and the only thing that gets me here is Dragon Lord Atarka. So I'm just gonna cast the Bear G. And then next turn I think I'm drawing my entire deck. Unless I'm missing something. And then we can set up the same scenario that happened last turn, where I just sculpt the hand where it just doesn't matter what my opponent does. I'm just going to be able to go off and kill them on the following turn. We know the good band to make the Pioneer Explorer relationship less weird. I mean, it was kind of a stupid card, honestly. It was kind of a stupid card. A little bit weird to ask your players to deal with that sort of card, you know, like to force your the players of that format to like put cards like Randy Volley in your deck. Like that's fine in Modern, you know, like back in the Spring of the Twin Days, you had like a couple of Randy Volleys and you were kind of okay playing them. But those cards felt really bad in Pioneer, in my opinion. Okay, so my opponent just passes the turn straight up. What could they have at instant speed? I mean, whatever they have, I can't really play around anyways, right? Because I have to use the blue mana to cast the BTL, so I can't hold up the Gusto. Also, the interaction between BTL and Burgi, like netting you mana, is kind of sweet, if I'm being honest. I hadn't thought about this when I was building the deck, and now that it's come up like at least once, where we won the game because of that, so it's pretty neat. So cast the Ignis, net another mana, Kozilek's Return. It's kind of funny how like we wouldn't even be able to answer that. It's kind of a weird timing to do that. So if I bounce this, I get to cast the other side of Burgi here. So I think that's fine. We probably lose to Ugin. We probably lose to Ugin because the opponent gets to just minus Ugin for... But it just uses my mana so much better. So I think it's worth doing that. So here's my opponent has Ugin and they just minus... they minus 5. We probably just lose. But if they don't have Ugin specifically this turn, then we're gonna have like a bunch of draws next turn to try to assemble our combo. That's a creature spell. Is this actual Ulamog? Oh, that also kills me. Yep, that one also kills me, I guess. All right. All right, Pioneer. You've shown me enough. I've seen enough of you. Alright, so wrapping thoughts for this deck. I think that there are a couple of things that need work. First of all, this card is bad. This card is also probably not great, but... what's the name of Cavalier? I think that the red Cavalier could be something that we're interested in doing over here. So what this does, it gives haste to all your creatures, so we get to play out all of our stuff, and then we get to Cavalier them to face. So discard a number of cards and draw that many cards. When it dies, do this X damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control, where X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. Okay, yeah, so that doesn't really matter. But just like playing this and like with infinite mana because of Burgi, Ignis, and Runaway Stimkin or something like that, then we actually can use all that infinite mana to just activate Cavalier infinite times. So this is a lot better, in my opinion. We can also maybe play, now that we have an actual payoff, like an actual way to end the game, with all the red mana, I think that having the access to the Steam King makes a little bit more sense. I still am not sure that I want all 4 copies of this, but I think that 3 copies seems fine. Maybe we want 2 Cavaliers, maybe we just want the 1. I think that's definitely worth some testing as well. What else? So as far as that, I think that's cool. Then we have the mana base. I think the mana base needs a lot of work. And I was trying to make sure that I have enough colors and that my lands tap for the proper mana. So that's why I avoided. I just have a bunch of shock lands and I avoided the passages. Because I'm gonna want to tap Breeding Proof or green mana on one turn, and then on the following turn, if I want to cast Omnath, I'm gonna want to tap it for a different color. So it's also possible I want the 4th copy of Fabled Passage since it's any color of land. So maybe I should just not play the Harbor. At that point, maybe Sulphur Falls becomes a little bit worse as well. Maybe this should just be some Triumphs. I think 26 or 27 lands is where I want to be. I wouldn't play any less than that. So this leaves me at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 red sources. And we are in need of double red. That's another thing that I noticed throughout the league. I noticed that I was in need of double red fairly often. So I think I maybe want 1 more red source. I'm maxed out on Stomping Grounds already. The Sacred Foundry feels a little bit weird. This is the part that everybody hates, just like trying to build a working mana base. Maybe I just have to have some Triumphs in here. It never fails, man. It never fails. Every time I stream, it's like this random person just making a bunch of noise, gardening outside. Do you want a black source to be the Cavalier? No. So you draw your entire deck, right? You get to a point where you just draw your entire deck. And I think Cavalier is more of a nice to have kind of deal, more than anything else. No, we usually BTL for the missing piece of the combo. Like we BTL for Omnath when we're low on resources, but we have used BTL throughout this league more often than not to complete our combo. So if we had Ignis and Recent Reef, we would BTL for Burgi, or like vice versa. But we have BTL for Ignis, we have BTL for Recent Reef, and we have BTL for Omnath. I think those are the... Oh, and we also BTL for Innkeeper to gain infinite life. So I feel like I kind of want another Triumph. Triumph seems like the best card in the deck, period. Honestly, this helps us cast everything. We're super low on white sources, which is kind of brutal. I feel like our mana base would be so much easier and cleaner if we didn't have to have white mana for Omnath. But Omnath is literally our win condition. I mean, I guess... Huh. So, first of all, there's the possibility that we can just turn this into a Yorion deck, right? If we just turn this into a Yorion deck, then building the mana base becomes a little bit easier. And not only that, but also we get to, max out on this, max out on BTLs. There's also the possibility that we want to be just going 3 colors. And then we maxed on Cavaliers. So that's another alternative. So let's explore that one first. So this is going to be like the Rug Elementals. So we cut the Omnath, and then we maxed out on Cavaliers. This is going to clear our mana considerably. Because now we don't need to play... The thing is, our BTL becomes worse. because we're not gonna have 4 color of mana. But again, like we more often than not BTL for 3 anyways. But yeah, so we cut all the white sources, and now our mana is a lot cleaner. We just play a bunch of breeding pools. We just play more red sources, so steam vents. Probably maxed out on triomes. We get to probably play another mountain. So we only have 2 blue cards, much more red cards. So we actually want more red sources than blue. So this is another idea. And we want the... What's the Czech land that we... Harbor? Is it Harbor? Yeah, there we go. I guess that we actually don't need to play passages anymore. Now that I think about it, we can just play a bunch of dual lands instead. Yeah, that's much better actually, because we're not really triggering Omnath anymore. Yeah, like our mana base becomes so much better if we cut Omnath and we're just like straight rug. Yeah, so the original version was playing Collected Company, right? The problem is, like, it looks like you're hitting a bunch of things, but the reality of the situation is that you're not. So this was like the original version of the deck. Or like close to the original version. I think that I made some changes to the original version that I saw. So the Awakeners are I don't think are particularly good, but they're just like the card that we have access to. But again, like if we are trying to play Cavalier, like all of a sudden we're gonna have like a Collected Company that's not gonna have that many hits, which is a little bit annoying. This is definitely a defensible way to build a deck, however. And I guess that if we're not playing Omnath, we don't really have to play that many cards, right? But at that point, we're a lot more of a combo deck. Like we're just trying to assemble this plus this plus this, you know? So at that point, things become like a little bit more... we're a little bit more all in on the combo. Which is probably fine. Like it's probably a way that we can go about it, but... I think I still would want to play like 24 lands, maybe? Well, let's just go with another one of these. Just another Harbor as a placeholder, but this is probably not the last land that I would want to play there. But just as a placeholder. So now we have 24 lands. We play the 4th Steamkin, because now we're a lot more all in on this concept. BTL still looks fine. Innkeeper looks fine. We probably want to... We could maybe just max out on Leaf Queen Druids. We have a couple more slots, which they could be... So the original list actually had access to Hazard's Monument. This is another way to go off, because this makes the Ignis only costs 2. So it just casts itself. You just need... The thing is that it doesn't net you the colored mana. That's why I cut it. So like you still need 2 red in order to get this going. So you still need like a Burgie. So it can't just like loop itself. So that's why I wasn't like such big of a fan. We could play like 1 copy maybe, so we never draw a second one. And then we need like the one missing, 1 more card to finish out the deck. This does look cleaner. I have to say that this does look a lot cleaner than the previous list, like the 4-color list. The problem is like this format is really slow, so I could start a league right now, which I kind of want to, but I'm not going to be able to finish it. Maybe a 3rd copy of Omnath. Maybe 25th land. Nah. The Miser's collected company. just one collected company, like the random Coco. Turnpike Bear, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. This is close. I think I won the extra land. Of course I won the extra land. Who am I kidding? I won the extra land. So this is red sources. These are my red sources. That's 14. Then my green sources. Green sources, raise your hand. Raise your hand, green sources, 17. And then my blue sources, which is sort of my splash color. I only have 2 blue cards. 17 still. Like that's a lot of blue sources. Jeez. So I guess we want more Sulfur Falls. No, that's not what I want. Crag, Rootbound Crag. That's the red green. Yeah, exactly. So what if I do something like this? So this leaves me with, again, green sources. These are my green sources. That's 18 green sources, pretty good. Then my red sources, which is gonna go up to 17, which is pretty decent. And then my blue sources, which is gonna be like a bunch of them. 16 blue. That's clean. That's real clean. Well, but Shona, we're not going to cast Cavalier on curve. Oh, 16 red? Oh. Oh. I fucked it up. Yeah, 16 red. You're 100% right. I think one more red would be very sexy. Maybe I should just not play basics. What happens if we just don't play basics? Like, what's the reason to play basics in Pioneer? There's just none, right? Because, like, Field of Ruin. Does anybody play Field of Ruin in Pioneer? No, right? Nobody plays Field. Because if nobody plays stuff like Field of Ruin, we can just go cut here. I probably still want like a couple of basics, but we can find probably another red-green land. Some control decks play too. Okay, so I'm still gonna have like a couple of them, but so this is 17 red, which is pretty decent. 17 red is pretty decent. Again, we're not trying to cast a Cavalier on curve. Cavalier is for after we have comboed out and we just finish our opponent. And we can kind of randomly cast it. We also have red mana from Innkeeper. This is 19 green, which is very good. And then we're gonna have blue, which again is our splash color, so we don't need that much blue. So 15 blue seems reasonable to me. I'm very often not even casting Recent Reef on curve. I could also just go down to 3 Cavaliers, a 3rd Omnath. The only thing that kind of scares me about this deck is that I have, besides Recent Reef, I have no real way of accruing card advantage. Escape to the Wilds? Do I want to be playing a couple of copies of Escape to the Wilds? Maybe like 1 or 2 Escape to the Wilds. I'm kind of into this. something like this. One good thing in Pioneer is building mana is great. Yeah, exactly. That's the part that nobody wants to do about Pioneer. They just like slam a bunch of things and just call it a day. I'm kind of into this. Like, Escape to the Wilds is kind of sexy here. It's expensive. It's expensive, but is there any better way to accrue such card advantage? Just Ultimatum, right? And we're not going to go all the way up to Ultimatum anyways. This is kind of cool. It does make me want to play one more land, though. So I can get more value from this, and I can make, you know... So just cut the Monument, just add one more land. And I guess I wanted to produce blue. So just another Sulfur Falls, maybe? This is getting clunky, though. We have like a little bit too many check lands now, I feel like. So let's actually go... Let's check our pathways. Is this blue-red? This is blue-red pathway, cool. Shut off this. Yeah, but I'm obviously in Timur colors, right? I'm talking about... That's probably the land that I want, and I maybe want 2 of these. And then I want 2 of the red-green one. Which I don't know what it's called. Damn, Moto is laggy right now. Oh, these full art pathways are so confusing. Are you red-green? No. Are you red-green? Yes. Sweet. So, you two, getting there. Alright, I like this. I like where this is going. I think I like this. Do pathway work well with Recent Reef of the trigger? No, you have to play the front side. But it's whatever. Like, if you have Recent Reef going, like, you're just kind of fine, right? It's all about having mana untapped so I can play my stuff on curve. Because, like, these check lands, we don't have that... Like, we have a bunch of, like, green check lands. So, like, the green check lands are probably fine. What is this? We have 4 and 4. We have 10, 14 forests. So I guess that maybe, like, the green ones are fine. But the blue one, I'm not super stoked about, you know? So maybe the green ones are just fine. Maybe I can play a couple of Rootbound Crags, whatever that is. But the blue-red one, I'm not super sure that it's going to be online all that often. So, yeah. Building this mana is not easy. I'm building the 4-color mana. It's an absolute nightmare. So now all of my elemental dudes are going to help me trigger the Somnath, including the Cavalier as well. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, this actually looks pretty nice to me. So one more Flame Blast Bolt. What's good against the green deck? Played against the green deck twice. Like, I have to imagine like Aether Gust is what we're going for. Like, but my opponent has a bunch of coilless cards. How do I beat the ramp deck? Because like the ramp deck does not seem like it's basically a race, but my opponent's a lot more consistent than I am. Anger probably still worth. Anger of the Gods. The thing is that unless we're in the very, very late game, Damping Sphere. Alright, Damping Sphere is kind of fine. And I guess I don't have the other thing now, so I want to be playing this because of Lotus Field anyway, right? So maybe 4 copies of Damping Sphere. How do you beat Lotus Field? Obviously, just play 4 Damping Sphere and call it a day. Now we're advantage against Lotus Field. That's not how it works. Oh, no, Damping Sphere doesn't work. Damping Sphere stops our combo. Damn it. Ugh. Alpine Moon, I guess. Alpine Moon against Lotus Field. Yeah. Noble Sager or whatever. No, my mana base is already a mess. I'm already really struggling to hit the amount of colored sources that I want. Maybe I could have like 1 Boseiju over the second forest and just have like 1 forest. Just have 1 forest, 1 mountain. I don't think I want Odawara though. The Miser's Boseiju is probably fine, but like I have some pretty steep. I have some pretty steep costs in my curve. I'd rather have Mountain than Sokensan, I think. If the Sokensan tokens were elementals, I would be all over it, but they're not. They're spirits, so no synergies to be found there. Dispute, Gust, Fry. So maybe another Dispute. Is Dispute good against Lotus Field? It is, right? Is Dispute good against Lotus Field? They don't fly. Yeah, they don't. This stroke is great. Disdainful Stroke is great. Fantastic suggestion. Fantastic suggestion, yeah. This also counters Ugin. Yeah, this card's great. Yeah, this stroke is what's up. Maybe Dispute is also pretty good, so let's keep Dispute there. Farai is fine. Flame Blast Bolt is also fine. Yeah, this looks fine to me. Yeah, this seems pretty cool to try out. Easy to just play any cards, just go through form and more stables. That's a good system. That's a good system for sure. All right, that's gonna be it for this this video. Thank you so much for watching. This ended up being a lot longer than I thought because Pioneer Leagues are very slow apparently. Yeah, this deck's kind of exciting. Like I'm into it. I'm definitely going to. I'm willing to set some more tickets on fire playing this. I'm trying to see if I can make it work. But like the fact that we actually comboed a couple of times and we won a match or whatever, it makes me want to keep messing around with this and see what I can come up with. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.